Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and Kayleigh McEnany has an absolute brilliant response to Chris Cuomo, completely turns the table on him live on CNN. But before we dive into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our new sponsors, Native Path. These people understand what it is to live a natural, healthy lifestyle, and their products can help you achieve those goals. Now, let's get back into the video.
I think the fake news has lied to the American people.
Has the president lied to the American people?
Chris, let me respond.
Can't
Jim
answer it. Bad sign.
Comey literally testified before Congress under oath that a New York Times story about Russian connections was false and in the main not true, and the Russia reporting was false. And for 2 years, you've talked about Russia, and now you moved on to recession.
Did Russia interfere in the election?
All lies about this
Did Russia
president.
interfere in the election?
There was no collusion. Was there
Did
collusion,
Russia interfere
Chris?
in the election? It's a
Was
yes/no
there collusion?
question. You're very smart. You can answer.
Was there collusion?
Did they interfere?
Well, answer my question
Yes.
first. Was there collusion?
The answer is yes. And here's
False.
why. Collusion is a
Robert
behavior,
Mueller.
not a crime. You learned that in law school. And here's what they did. This president went out there stoking their efforts. His son took a meeting he should have never taken. It was beyond the line of stupid. And he went to that meeting with two people who knew better. It's no conspiracy theory. They went to the meeting. It's collusive behavior. Was it a crime? No. And I never said it was. And I said it was good news that it wasn't. But they interfered, and you can't even mention it.
You
He talks
perpetuated
about Vladimir
conspiracy
Putin as a guy who
theory
should
for
be in
2
the
years.
G7, and he fights with our allies about it. He stands next to him on the national, actually the world stage, and says he takes his word for it against his own intel agencies.
You continue to play up the Russia collusion conspiracy theory. You guys lied about the president.
I never mentioned any kind of collusion
He won on November 8th, 2016, and he's going to win again.
I never said that he shouldn't have won.
He's going to win again.
I never said that his election was not what it was. He won the election. I say it all the time. But I'm going to ask you this one more time. Kayleigh McEnany, do you believe this president has ever lied to the American people?
No, I don't believe the president has lied. I believe the fake news media. Do you believe the fake news media
right
has
out of my
lied?
head.
Do you believe the fake news media has lied?
Interview's over, Kayleigh. Please, if you can't admit that this president has lied to the American people, you will not have credibility with the audience.
Media lies,
you got a long way to go,
credibility.
Kayleigh. Look, listen, when a president is telling the American people every day not to believe in a free press, that they're the enemy of the state, and he lies about the allies at G7 saying what we really want to know is why your media hates the country, he is to blame for sowing the seeds of division.
He just did a 40-minute press avail
and he
in
lies
90-degree weather.
So what?
The president gives access, and you lie about everything he says and take him out of context.
I have
and the people are
never
frustrated.
lied about this president in my life. You may not like what I say. That doesn't make it a lie. He lies all the time, and you know it.
Go
and
watch
if you
your
don't
last
own it,
hour,
they won't listen to you as well.
Grisham out of context and putting one story with another
show
to
me
try
what
to
I
make
lied about,
it seem
Kayleigh.
as if the president lied and Stephanie lied and it was not true.
You show me lying about this president, and I'll give you a prize. You admit the truth about him, I'll give you 2 prizes. But you're still welcome on the show.
I don't
although
need
you may
any
have,
prizes
you may
from
have
the
hurt
fake
me.
news media.
You may have hurt me tonight in inviting you back, because if you can't admit that he lied, these people are never going to believe you about
I think you should take a look in the mirror,
all right?
Chris.
You don't lie to your audience. Yeah, there's a reason Chris Cuomo eventually got fired, and it wasn't just because he was helping out his scumbag brother dodge the media time and time again for the terrible, stupid things that he did while governor. But you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't like doing this. I don't like looking down at notes. I like memorizing a couple of talking points and talking from there, because it's easier for me to interact with the camera and, of course, y'all, the audience. But I need to take some things down line by line here, because there was so much just stuff to get through. Okay, so Chris Cuomo admits the Trump team is innocent of the Russian collusion hoax and yet continues to stoke the fires. That automatically disqualifies him as a journalist because he is directly misleading his audience. Next, let's see, the 20,000 collusion. Okay. Sorry, the 2016 collusion conspiracy was not that Donald Trump worked directly with the Russians. The truth of the matter was that Russia did have something called bot farms. And they would make these very weird memes. They would go out on Facebook and share them all over the place. Hey, y'all, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our new sponsors, Native Path. Created by Dr. Chad out of Austin, Texas, he realized that there was something deeply wrong in this medical community. Instead of focusing on nutrition, they were just focused on serving Big Pharma. So he left and created this new company called Native Path. And what do they do over there? They sell something called collagen. Now, what is collagen? Well, it's not magic fairy dust. It's not this muscle milk. It's not calcium rich. Instead, it is a odorless, flavorless, dissolves completely in water powder that you can mix. And unlike iocane powder, this stuff has massive health benefits. It can help your bones, your joints, your ligaments, your skin, your hair follicles, even your fingernails. This stuff is absolutely packed with the nutrients that we lose so constantly in our modern diet. This stuff is a fantastic supplement, can help you live a healthier life. And if you go to this link down here below, you will find up to 45% off of certain products. That is how much Native Path cares about your health. So go check them out, link in the description below. And now, back to regularly scheduled programming. Too bad the mainstream media focuses on something that really didn't happen, and that is the direct working between Putin and Trump as a campaign duo. All right. Let's see. Then Cuomo claimed that Donald Trump ignored our agencies like the FBI and CIA, which were being directly used to spy against him per orders of Barack Obama. These are the same people that told us that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Turned out to be mostly false. We did find them, by the way, but they were these old 80s weapons that got sold to them, and they were almost all outdated. And these are also the same people that had an opportunity to lock Hillary Clinton away, but it caused a literal civil war within the FBI, and the Hillary Clinton side won. All right, so that's point number 3. Point number 4, Trump loves Putin. He wouldn't be allowed back in the G7, Chris Cuomo. It would become the G8 again. Russia used to be a part of this. They got kicked out because they kept on being too aggressive. And the reason Donald Trump ponies up to Putin is to remind him, hey, I'm not going to do anything stupid as long as you don't do anything stupid. Compare that to the past 2 presidencies, where we had the annexation of Ukraine under Barack Obama. Under George W. Bush in 2008, there was an invasion in Georgia, not my home state, but the nation of Georgia. And then, of course, after the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, Putin invaded Ukraine. So one of these presidents is not like the other. I wonder why. I guess good diplomacy doesn't really matter to Chris Cuomo. All right, so something about Kayleigh McEnany. There's no way Trump hasn't lied. Okay. I get why she said it like that. There's no way in this world that Trump hasn't, at one point, said something wrong to the American people. But later on in the video, Chris Cuomo says to his audience with a straight face that I have never once lied. I'm sorry, statistics say that's impossible. I don't believe you. However, I'm supporting McEnany not because Trump is my guy. No. Because that's not the point of this interview. We are not out here to do a litmus test on how many Pinocchios Donald Trump has on his record. That's not the point of this interview. So yeah, don't back down on that point. Good for you, Kayleigh, even though it's technically untrue. Back to Chris Cuomo. If Trump lies so much, why don't you just stick to one? You say that he lies all the time. It should be pretty easy to pick one right out of the hat. You'd think that'd be possible, but no, this is CNN. Whatever they say, their audience is going to hear and go, yes, and clap like seals, like they're doing at the DNC. Good grief. That was painful to watch. All right, let's see. Yeah, I've already talked about this one. He said that, Chris Cuomo said that he had never once lied to his audience. That's a statistical impossibility and, incredibly hypocritical when you're saying that one guy does it, but I'm the good guy in this situation. And finally, the 2 prizes. This is the thing that actually makes me mad more than anything else. Not because Chris Cuomo has deliberately hid the truth and has deliberately given you half-truths and has tried to paint Kayleigh McEnany as carrying water for someone that's just mean-spirited, always lying, just darn evil. The patronization of Democrats towards Republicans, of these rich white liberals who run the Democrat Party, the patronization of Republicans has always irked me. That's been sort of baked into the Southern culture because the North has always patronized the South. Then you read your Thomas Sowell and you go, oh, they might have had a point. But now that's not a thing anymore. So they've turned it from patronization of Southerners and occasionally Midwesterners and turned it against a patronization against Republicans and conservatives in general. How there's no way in this world that you can think differently than us rich white liberals. We are the arbiters of truth with more education. You either must be very ignorant or very, very racist. There's a world where basic logic exists, where basic logistics exists. Again, logistics is sort of an offshoot of logic. Democrats tend to dance around these two issues. As someone who has actually worked in some blue-collar capacity, I've worked in a couple of warehouses. The people who talk logistics and lower business strategy, they're all Republicans. They're all conservative. The people in higher up positions or in very low job positions were mostly Democrats. They weren't thinking about logistics. They just assumed everything worked and had everything done on an interpersonal level. This is the fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats. And so the ones in the higher up business parts, the rich white liberals, will always look down on the conservatives beneath them because you just aren't smart enough yet. Good for you. When the reality is the business would not run without the people who understand logistics. It's really just that simple. This patronization is absolutely annoying. And I admit it's coming from a bit of a loser perspective, and I hate arguing from a losing perspective. But these rich white liberals and their ivory towers, exactly who Chris Cuomo is trying to dog whistle to, will lap this stuff up and not question it for a moment. Kayleigh McEnany knows this, but she still goes into the lion's den anyways and roars back at them. Good for you. And by the way, which career ended up a little bit better than the other, might you ask? Well, we all know what happened to Chris Cuomo. Kayleigh McEnany is still here. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.